on page. I have us on page Shin Gimel. Just looking at it, it seems like I haven't seen this before, so I thought I did. Okay, so the Zohar says in the Pirish on the left column, it says Besod Os Ayin Shal Acho. Oh, there we are. The Ayin, the last letter that's in this Acho, Tihra de Tipsa Glipa Besifsa. Yeah. Who or Hametsuyer, it's a light that is formed b'chakok and carved into the lips. Bisvasarim. So look at this. Look at the lips. There's some kind of light that's carved in there of Zair Anpin. Shu hachevel leyotzim midepesha Zair Anpin. Which what we're talking about? This tihra de tipsa, which is carved into the lips. He says it comes out of the mouth of Zair Anpin and mispasha the shvim olovim, and it comes out to the 70 different types of breath. Rehitin b'anofim, v'hem shivim koros gedolos, like 70 big beams. Shel anfei ilon elyon, or I guess he means branches. They come out of a big tree, shuhu Zair Anpin, which is a tree called Zair Anpin. V'hem shors the shivim nefesh, and this is the concept of the 70 souls. Lebeis Yaakov shebachol the Mitzrayim. Whoa, lost it. Sorry, we lost you there. I don't know where I lost you. Were you on the top of page Ray shit? I'm sorry?
Stop. I didn't hear a word you said. There was no sound on your side.
You hear it now, though, right?
Now I do.
Okay, Baruch Hashem. Okay, so back to Shin Gimel again. And the Zohar says, V'sod os ayin. So he had gone through the sounds that are produced by the throat. What is the ayin is the achoa is the palate. Besod os ayin. So the secret of the letter ayin that comes from these sounds that are produced in the palate are achoa. Tihro de tipsa glipa besifsa. He says who or, so I guess tihra means light, like concept of noontime, something like that. Hu or hametsuyer v'chaka b'svasayim. It's a light that is formed and carved into the lips. Interesting concept. Shel Zair Anpin. Shuha heva leyotzim minipeh. What is this light that's carved in the lips? It's actually the breath, or call it what you want, that's coming out of the mouth. Shel Zair Anpin. Mispasha the shvi molovim, and it spreads. This one light, it comes out of the mouth, actually splits into 70. Rehitin the anofim. V'hem shivim koros are like 70 branches. Shel anfei ilon elyon, that are, I guess, beams that you come out of the branches of this upper tree. Shehu Zair Anpin. V'hem ashor the shivim nefesh, and they're actually. Let's see. I got 1 second. It's a little. Move things around here a little bit. Okay, let's see if this works better. Okay, so his he says the Beis Yaakov, the 70 nefesh from the Beis Yaakov shebachol the Mitzrayim, that came to Mitzrayim. Misachadan the Sitroi, haneachazim v'shrashim b'tzadei ilon ha'elyon, that are actually what holding onto, rooted in the sides of the upper tree, the ruchin galifim, v'nechakakim beruchos. So they comes out of different winds or directions or breaths. Hayotzim minipesha Zair Anpin. So this is the concept of the 70. Not really explained exactly how that works, but let's go on. So he said, the Azvan the Shlomo Malcolm. Let's go over here. V'sodas ha'osir shal Shlomo Melech. So the secret of the letters of King Solomon. Mavur it's atru ilin asvan ba'arba ba'arba. Shal she'elo arba ba'osio shal achoa. So let's take these 4 letters. He says misatrim, they wind up being crowned, mischavrim, and joined together ba'arba osio shal gichak, which come from the throat. So you have 4 verses 4. Umeirim elu be'elu, and what happens is that they shine into each other. So using that the first letter of B'chol, Meir Os Gimel, it causes the light of the letter Gimel, a part of which is the first letter of the word Gichok, it shines onto it. Vayidei os ches meir os yud, and then going back through the letters ocha, it also shines into the letter yud, which is part of gichach. V'al yedei os hey meir os kaf, v'al yedei os ayin meir os kuf. So we see a direct correspondence between what's going on in the palate, or the letters that are carved in some way into the palate, and what is carved into or placed. I don't know exactly how it got there. It's into the throat. Like I said yesterday, it says that this is really parallels what's going on in Idra Anpin, and I didn't know that this positioning is the same as Zair Anpin. It certainly is I don't know what word I was looking for. It's the contrast. Let's go on. Commotion is boyer the be'idra the mashkana. So also this apparently the Abu Chatzeras have also a pirish on that too. V'chatam ki osius gichak shehem beso the chochma. So he says gichak, which is a chochma. I think that's backwards. Now chochma hein nerolamos ve'ein ha'or shalachem mizgala ela yedech lavshus ba'osius achor. Only when they're closed in the letters of achor shuhu beso the bina, which is bina. So I guess I got it wrong. I thought that bina was in the throat. He just said that previously. Arba osis achor mischavrim ba'arba. So he's saying they're putting together. Am I wrong there? Isn't he saying that the that achor is in the palate, and gichak is in the throat? I thought that's what it was. Am I wrong? Let's go. But he said huh? I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. Okay, let's go. Osius gichak. So let's go back to the osius gichak, which I thought were in the throat. Now he's telling me they're in the palate. Shemotich havaraza. So I guess the vibrations of these letters that come out of the bechich. So heim besot hachasadim shel hachachma shebechich. So they now here he says the chachma's in the chich. Didn't he say the opposite? Or shalachem is gala. Where was it? V'tamki oses kichak sheim besoda chochma. So here he says, but the chech heim besoda chasadim, which comes from chochma. Shalachachma shebechech, which is in the throat, in the palate. So I think he got it wrong over there on that page. And the chech is the palate. V'lechein heim mamtikin as a gevura sheim osias sachar. So therefore they strike the gevuros, which are the achah. Okay, so achah is in the throat. That the palate, or now he says, I guess the throat. He says the throat causes the tasting to take place for the food. So the chasadim that are in the chech mitoyim es ha'oichel mamtiko. So here he says the chasadim are in the chech, right? So he said that the chasadim in the chech, and they taste. That's where you get the taste. That's the sensitivity for taste. Kamo melech hamatayim as oichel, like for example, salt that brings a taste into the food. She'ein b'chabetam kamoshen emach hayachol tafel mibli melech. So he said pirosh v'ki after the echol Michael tafel. So he says, what's Michael tafel mean? Michael tafel. So he means the sub-level of food. I'm not sure. She'ein bo tam. That means something that's tafel, means it doesn't have a taste by itself, means it has to pick up taste somewhere else in the food. Because it's missing the salt, which brings tam. So he says the gevuras are the letters achor. These letters exist in the garam. So therefore they do a sweetening job, and also they cause a taste. The letters which are in the palate, shebechech, which are in the chech, those. So he says al yedei, and how does it the chasadim that are in the gichak, which are in the chech, is the palate. So gichak is in the palate. Okay, kusiv va'az That when gevuras are sweetened through chasadim, kasev v'hoyim maaseh tzedakah shalom. Pirush. So what does that mean? The action of tzedakah brings peace. Pirush hagevuras v'hadinim shebegarim, the gevuras and the dinim that are found in the throat, hanikroim tzedek, which are called tzedeks, lashon malchus. Naasa tzedakah becomes something called tzedakah, the hind of gevuras mubutakos, because then it becomes sweetened. He says that adds that extra hay in there, and it winds up being sweetened. And how does this happen? Shalom, shuhal lashon, which is the tongue, the hind of yisod, that's yisod. So shalom goes with yisod, and he says lashon goes with yisod. Hanikra shalom, called by that name, shemamshikas chasadim shebechech, pulls down the chasadim which are in the palate. Mamatek as a gevuras, and as a result of that, it sweetens the gevuras which are in the throat. I'm told these letters which are gichak, shebechich, ne'embach b'pasuk. It says in the pasuk shehein hanechamadim, that these are the cherished ones. More than gold, umipazgal, and pure gold. Because these are the gevuros that have been sweetened. They're the gevuros that come from the sounds of the throat, which are achah shebegarim. Because these sweetened gevuros are really precious. He's like a romazach of the gevuros of mubutakos, which is really a reference to that when you have gevuros, which are powers of creation, but they're sweetened and they don't destroy. And then the chasadim, which exist in the palate, they're more precious, more important. So therefore the pasuk goes on and it says, and they're sweeter than honey. So let's take those chasadim that exist in the chech. He says, they begin with, they're tremendously sweet to begin with in the gevuras that you find in the letters achah. He says devash, which is the concept of devash. So he says that the let me get my words right. The chasadim which are in the palate of the letters gichak are much sweeter than what you find in sweetened gevuros in the throat. So he says that, so therefore the chochol, which is in the palate, is considered to be, I guess he means in the throat, I'm sorry, which is bechidas devash, aromas the gevuros, mubutakos, references to that, of sweetened gevuros, v'hatam ki chasadim shel gichak, and the reason the chasadim from the palate, which are the letters gichak, metukim, vadai, they're really, really sweet. He says, ba'atzmusam ve'enim tzrichim hamtaku ba'acherim k'machagevuros, and it doesn't need help. It doesn't need sweetening from another place because they by themselves are already sweet. Va'al hamtakas hagevuros the garon, and in regards to the sweetening of the gevuros that are in the throat, David Melech said like this: Gam abdukot nizhar bohem, even your servant will be careful. What does he mean by nizhar? Nizhar maybe shines for with them. David Melech made al atzma, so he's testifying on himself. Shetamed koya nizhar, he was always careful. Laham take a gevur shebegaron, to work to sweeten the gevuros that come out of the throat. Ayedecha chasadim shebechech, through the chasadim that are in the palate. Besod yichud chek begorim. So the concept is bringing the two of them together. Once again, it's a yichud of the palate, the throat. V'lechen kashehiskir adine beomro. So when this is mentioned by David and Melech, he says that bedinim shagaomer mishpat Hashem emes, where he says that the judgments of Hashem are true. Amar achakach, after that he says tzidko yachdov. What does he mean by that? He means the mishpat, I guess, is lashon din. I'm not sure. So he says tzadko yachdav, that they work together in tzedakah. What does that mean? He said bepirish she is matku radinim im chasadim, that the dinim become sweetened with the chasadim that are in the palate. Yachdav, they go together. Besod tzedakah, so they go together. What does this mean? So in other words, it's like I guess the action of chesed is giving. So it's like tzedakah. So b'yachdav besod tzedakah. So now after the chasadim pour in pour in. Amar, he uses word hanachamadim bezav bepazrav. That's when you get the phrase that they're more cherished than gold and pure gold. Rav bepazrav. Besukim umutalking bedevash. That is from pure gold that's been sweetened with honey. The Simon he includes like this: Ki im abdko nizchar bechem, because if he says if your servant is careful about them, laham shech chasadim laham tekach the gevuros, in order really to bring out the chasadim, to sweeten the gevuros, v'ka amor, as we have said. That's the situation. Asahad no alai. Ani made al alai. So Rebbe Shimon says, I'm going to say something about myself. The kol yoma is the high, because every day I was always very careful about this. So he says I was always careful to do this, to make this yichud from the palate and the throat. Besod yichud chech v'garam, the la'atobuhu v'nischarti. What was he careful about, and how does one become careful? How does this work? I'm not sure I'm hearing this, but at any rate, that's the idea. So it makes everything better. Was careful not to make mistakes in regard to sweetening. Was he talking about the words or the sounds that are coming from my voice, from my throat? Bar yom achad da'atarna itre malka. Chutz miyom echad shechayise bekavan la'ater es hamelech shehu Zair Anpin. So he said, except for one time, this is David HaMelech speaking. He says that at one time I wanted to put a crown on the king shehu Zair Anpin. In other words, I'm going to bring shefa onto the ataras hamochim with the crowns of the mochim. But ma'arta de Morona, de Moronia. I take that back. This is not David HaMelech speaking. This is Rebbe Shimon. So he says that one time, let me read again, he says, Chutz miyom echad shachayise bekavad la'atach hamelech shehu Zair Anpin. So I always was trying to sweeten up the dinim in my throat with the sweetness in my palate. And he says, but there's one time I didn't. I was at B'ma'arta de Meronia. So I was in the cave in Meron, B'marasha Meron, below nischarta in the matek as a gevuros, and I was not careful. I did not sweeten the gevuros. He said, and then as a result of that, there I saw a candle, a big candle, which was burning. A pusia de menoria. Al Pnei call Rochav Shal Har Meron. In other words, this fire appeared to be on the entire breadth of the mountain that he was on, the Meron. And I started shaking. Mehachu Yoma is the Harnach B'Toibahu. And from that day on, when I saw this fire kindled as a result of what I was doing, it's interesting what the metaphor could work on here. What was he doing? What brought this on? And from that day onward, I was always being careful to sweeten the gevuros. Now he's not telling me how to do this, but he's telling this is the concept. The words that are coming out of the mouth, which he says that part of it is manifest in the lips. He said like that. It's carved out of there. So kol chulake manda is dacha bebetiku de malka. Ashrei chelko shel misha nitzchar bebita gevuras hamelech. So he's careful to sweeten up the gevuras of the king shehu Zair Anpin, which is Zair Anpin. V'tayim b'chu k'dechaze. A mom take son karoe. He sweetens them the way that they need to be sweetened. He said, Haldor Kasivin is written like this, Tamu Uruki Tov Hashem. So taste it, and then you're going to see how good is Hashem. Pirish, that's interesting idea. Pirish at the Ibach Bitukul as a Gavuras v'chasadim. So he says that the concept of tasting and the sweetening of the Gavuras with chasadim, and from this power, we will see that the shefa will be extended down into the v'az tira ki tov v'mato came b'gavura shel chavashal yud kevavke shehu Zair Anpin. And so then you'll see that this concept is the sweetening of the gevuras that are inside of Zair Anpin, shehu Zair Anpin, and also is written on this l'chu lacham moch belachmi ushasu b'yayin mesachti. What's pshat? So come and eat with me and come and drink with me. He said, what's that? So he says, after the action of sweetening the gevuros in the throat with the chasadim in the chech, he says, hamtakas gevuros. So he says, alecha balachmi. He says, go eat my bread with my bread. What does that mean? Hainu osios melech. Let's take these three letters of melech, right? It's a gematria 78, 3 times 26. He says, Kolomish alechem kavar edo tafel b'li melech. So he says that already you see that once the sweetening has taken place, he says that the shahalecha, the bread, kavar edo tafel, it's already got a taste to it, b'li melech, without salt. El kavar v'yesh b'cha b'tam, but it already has a taste. Where's the taste come from? V'amar od, and he says more than that, v'shasu b'yayin masachti, and then drink from my anointing wine. Pirush shetishto hayayin shehem soda dinim, that you should drink from the wine, which is the secret of dinim, kashehem nimsachim mumazim b'mayim, when they are poured out and when they are mixed with water, which is a lashon chesed, shehem soda chasadim amamtakos esadinim v'gavuros. Okay, did you get the note that I sent you on Skype, Rabbi?
No.
Okay, so I told you that I'm going out of town to, and going with my family to winter break, and
Okay.
I'm not going to be able. I'm saying Kaddish for my brother-in-law, and I need someone to say Kaddish for me one time a day. Can you do that, or get someone that can do that? Well, I guess we'll wait till he comes back. Okay, I'm back. Did you get the last part?
No, you went silent.
Okay, so my brother-in-law died. They have nobody that, his family, my brother-in-law's family, he was a Kohen. His family came like my family in the 1880s to the U.S. And for our families to still be alive Jewish-wise, because a lot of it isn't, is really something. But they're so, in that family, they got involved in heavy-duty reform in St. Louis, which is, the rich German Jews started this thing called Temple Israel. It was really radical reform, and their family went there. So they don't know anything about Judaism at all. I mean, they know a few words. That's it. Anyway, his name is Natan Nahum. Says Nos Nuchum was his first name. His last name, but his father's name, nobody knows. So his name is Lewis. That was his Nos Nuchum ben Lewis. That's really what I got. And I've been trying to find it, but nobody's trying besides me, and I haven't found it yet, because he has gravestones going all the way back to the 1880s. Maybe not they were born in the 1880s. They came from Lithuania. So, anyway, could you do that for me?
What?
Say Kaddish. I need a Kaddish. I've been saying Kaddish for him, but where I'm going, there's no Kaddish.
Oh, okay. I'm also traveling, though.
Okay, so are you going to be able to do that, or I could go to Yoli and try that?
I won't be at every minyan because I'm traveling tomorrow.
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay, so you're traveling too. Are we learning while you're gone?
No.
Okay, so.
I'll be here.
Huh?
I'll be here tomorrow morning, but I won't be available until afterwards, till Monday.
All right, so I'll look elsewhere. I'll talk to the rabbi over here. Okay, that's what I'll do. Or one of these, I'm done with Israelis now, so they're a riot. Okay, let's go on to try to learn a little bit more. We have just a few minutes here. Are things getting shorter now? I don't pay attention.
Starting to.
It's starting to get shorter. Okay. Let's go over here. We're on page Shen Ches, and this is the Tikkun Nukva. That's a little big idea over here. So he's Pacha Dechuda Bedas. Now, what does that mean? He says Begufo Shel Hadochar, the body of the male, Zair Anpin, Shuhu Zair Anpin, Nispasha v'Nisgadel, so it spreads and it starts to grow. Mikor chasadim shel muachadas. And why is that? Because of the chasadim in the muachadas. Muachadas is the maim she'magadel as a ilon. V'is malyan achsadrin v'idrin. V'nismalo b'or hadas, and then will be fulfilled with the light of das. Kol hachadarim ha'prozdarim ha'panimim, all of the different chambers and openings that are inside of the goof of Zair Anpin. It opens them up, Eresha the Gugol to Shari. But these are Uvdechilas is Pashtos Shal Or Hadas. So let's start, where does the Or Hadas actually spread from? Besoch Zair Anpin, inside of Zair Anpin, whom Rosha Gogolas has come from the head, the skull. So that's where it starts. Shuhum Makam Muachadas, which is the place where the Muachadas is located. V'is Pashet B'kol Guf, and then it starts to spread into the body. B'bishan B'spashet Or Hadas, the Kol Guf, Shel Zair Anpin. Ak ein Or Hadas Mizgala B'guf Lamala Minachaz. But remember, the rule is that up above the chazer, it's not revealed. It's only revealed below the chazer. Elo Mizgala Rak B'chedoi, that is the breast, the chazer. Min achaza de Zair Anpin v'lamata. That's the only place that you know you could see this light. Ki ad achaza shalo sasam hu muachadas b'yisod ima. So he says, while the chaza is his chest is closed up, it's the muachadas b'yisod eva. It's the muachadas that's coming from the yisod of eva. Min the chaza lamata, but from the chaza going downwards, it opens up. Shemistayim sham b'yisod the ema. That's where the yisod the ema stops. Mizgal sham or hadas. So there's where you see the revelation of the light of das of the royum. B'sham mispashet or hadas bizroash Zair Anpin, and there's where we see the spread of the light of das into the shoulders and the arms of Zair Anpin. Uv'kulach mispashet kol aguf, and then from there down the arms it goes everywhere. Ad netzach hod yisod, until it reaches the 9. He says going on. You see, he says, and then he goes ma'achroi. Ma'akrav shel Zair Anpin. Let's look at the back of Zair Anpin. Keneged the chazer shelo, opposite his chest. I'm sorry, that's it.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Oh.